Welcome to my channel. My name is Ria, and in this video I'm going to talk about the astrology for the week of 16th May to 22nd May 2022. And on my channel I post new moon videos, full moon videos and weekly videos, and you can watch those if you are interested. I also post a daily energy post on my Instagram, so you can check that out also if you're interested. And before we begin, I request you to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. So for this video, I'm going to talk about what's happening in the astrology, and then towards the end of the video, I will pull a few cards for the week's energy. So let's get started. Now, we are coming into this week with major changes from last week. So real quick, I'll touch upon those. The first is that Mercury here went retrograde last week on 10th May, and Mercury will be retrograde till June 3rd. And Mercury retrogrades, generally speaking, are not the best time to sign new contracts. Gadgets can malfunction, electronics can malfunction, and communication can slow down. It is more a period of review for all the Mercury related work we did when the planet was direct, and Mercury is associated with our diet, it's associated with our lifestyle, our day-to-day routine and communication. So these are the things that we might be taking a second look at during Mercury retrograde. The second thing that happened last week, which was a major event, was that Jupiter, okay, give me a sec. Jupiter right here changed signs, right? It's entered the sign of Aries, and Jupiter is in Aries after 12 years. So it's not a very common energy to feel, and Jupiter in Aries will magnify the Aries energy. Aries energy is about taking action, it's about starting things, it's about doing things. It can also get impulsive and aggressive, so just be mindful of that. So Jupiter will magnify this energy. It can also give gifts, blessings, healings, rewards to wherever Aries is in your personal chart, whichever house. So that happened last week as well. From Pisces, Jupiter entered the sign of Aries. So the next thing I want to talk about falls in this week's energy Pacific time. It happened on 15th May, Sunday, yesterday, but for most of the world this is happening this week, 16th May, Monday. So I'm going to cover this in this video as well. I spoke about this in my previous week's video. I spoke about this in detail in my eclipse video, and now I'm going to speak about it very briefly in this video as well, because it is happening this week for most of the world. So what's happening on Monday, 16th May, is a lunar eclipse, right? A lunar eclipse is when the moon and the sun oppose each other, make a 180-degree angle, right? That's a full moon. And what makes it an eclipse is the fact that this full moon is next to the nodes, the north node and the south node. Now the nodes are very karmic, right? So eclipses bring about karmic events, fated events, destined events, and we have been in this karmic, fated, destined energy since 30th April or 1st of May, depending on your location. And now we have another eclipse, a full moon eclipse. Now, full moon eclipses, generally speaking, are completion points, ending points, release points, right? A lot of emotional release takes place. A lot of karmic emotional release takes place on a full moon eclipse. So those things are happening on Monday. And eclipse energy can feel challenging, and during eclipses it's not best to react, and it's better to just sit on that energy, soak it in, and then react and make decisions sometime later. So all that is happening on Monday, and this eclipse is in the sign of Scorpio, right? And Scorpio is the sign of transformation. It's the sign of endings, beginnings, healing, release. So what that means is that this eclipse is really highlighting that theme of ending, of releasing, of transforming in a major way, of healing as well, but a lot of release, a lot of transformation. So that's the basic energy of this eclipse. You can watch my eclipse video for details. And one aspect that I want to talk about is the fact that this eclipse is in a square to Saturn. 90-degree angle, right, with both the sun and the moon. And Saturn is the planet of decisions, of hard work, of discipline, of giving structure to things. But Saturn is also a very karmic planet. So this eclipse is extremely, extremely karmic. First of all, because it's an eclipse, a karmic energy by itself. And second of all, because Saturn is aspecting this eclipse in a very powerful way. Saturn is the planet of karma, right? So a lot of karmic stuff is going to happen on this eclipse. It could be something in your life coming to an end that was destined to come to an end, something in your life transforming, right, that was karmic, or something, or some healing that you're receiving that's karmic in nature. So what I just want to say is that this eclipse is extremely karmic. Themes of transformation, themes of catharsis, themes of ending and beginning are extremely potent. So that's the eclipse, and that's how we begin the week. So take it easy on Monday, and best not to react on an eclipse, best not to take decisions on an eclipse. Just soak in the energy and then decide later. So that's how we begin this week. Now, the next important thing that I want to talk about happens on May 18th, right, which is a Wednesday. So I'll move up the chart and then you can see this. I'll show you guys. All right, there we go. So for most of the world, I believe this is May 18th, but Pacific time, this is May 17th, really close to midnight. And what's happening here is that Mars and Neptune are conjunct. They've met up, right? Mars is the planet of action. It's an energizer. And Neptune is the planet of creativity and spirituality. But with Neptune also comes confusion. So what this energy could bring is a lot of energy and drive in creative and spiritual pursuits. Neptune, right? That's one manifestation of this energy. The energy can manifest in multiple ways, right? So how it manifests, that I cannot say. I can just give the potential of that energy. And Mars and Neptune conjunction can also bring about confusion in taking action, right? What do I do? Is this the right thing to do? Is this the wrong thing to do? I can't see it clearly, because Neptune can also bring an inability to see things clearly, right? And that can bring confusion. So it can also be that we get confused in what to do, what action to take, but it's a matter of a day or two, right? Then the energy is going to ease off because Mars is going to move on. So two manifestations of this energy: one, a lot of energy and drive for creative things, for spiritual things, or it can bring confusion in what path to take, what action to take, what to start, right? That sort of thing. So if there is confusion, then just wait it out, right? Wait it out for a couple of days and it will pass. So that is Wednesday for most of the world, really close to midnight Pacific time. So on Tuesday, 17th May. Most of the world, this is 18th May. So the next important thing happens on Thursday. So I'm going to move up the chart and then show you guys. And let me pull that up real quick. So what's happening is that Pluto is going to trine the sun. So let's see that. Okay, there we go. So this is happening on Thursday, and what's happening is that Pluto here is going to trine the sun, make a positive aspect with the sun. Now, Pluto is the planet of transformation, right? That's what Pluto brings. And the sun is our identity, it's our consciousness, it's our soul. So what this could bring is a transformation to something in our consciousness. It could end something or begin something related to our identity, right? We might say, okay, you know what? I want to let this part of me go, like this part of my identity. Yeah, this is who I used to be at one point, but I've grown, I've evolved, and now that part of me is not really me anymore. You know, so it could be something like that, because Pluto brings a lot of transformation. It brings a lot of transformation so that we grow spiritually, right? It's spiritual transformation that comes with Pluto. So it could be a part of our consciousness, a part of our identity that we've left behind or we've outgrown, right? And that happens all the time. So it could be something like that. And it's not going to feel very stressful because it's a positive, harmonious aspect. So it could just happen organically and naturally that you say, okay, you know what? I used to enjoy this thing, not anymore. I let it go, plural. I end it, plural. Or you can say, you know what? This part of my life or this part of who I am, I need to change something about it. It used to work for me earlier, but now it doesn't work for me. So things like that. But it's not going to feel stressful because it's a harmonious aspect. Now, moving on to the next important thing. So on Friday, right, on Friday, we have the sun here changing signs. So let's see that. Let's see that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is Friday evening Pacific time. So some parts of the world, this is going to be Saturday. The sun has changed signs, right? The sun has left the sign of Taurus where we had the eclipses, right? The new moon solar eclipse on 30th April, 1st May, and then the full moon eclipse was in Scorpio, but it was on the Scorpio-Taurus axis. So now the sun has moved on. Right, it's moved on. It's entered the sign of Gemini, and the sun in Taurus is a more stable, slow-moving energy, right? Taurus is a very stable, secure, grounded energy. So when the sun is in that sign, right, that's the vibe we feel. We feel more stable, we feel more secure, we feel more grounded. Of course, the other things that are going on influence that energy, because the sun might be in a stable and secure sign, but there might be a lot of energy in another sign or some other aspects going on that make us feel, like, no, I need to do this now. So it really depends. But generally speaking, by itself, the sun in Taurus is a slow moving, stable energy. The sun in Gemini is different, right? Gemini is a Mercury ruled energy, fast. Mercury is very fast. So Gemini is like fast movements, fast thinking, fast learning, fast everything. So the pace of life picks up in Gemini. Everything is fast, right? There's a desire to do a lot of things at once. There's a desire to communicate. So generally speaking, it's more of a fast moving energy with, a lot going on, the sun in Gemini. So we'll feel this shift, we'll feel this subtle shift as the sun moves on. So we'll feel this shift in energy with the sun changing signs, Pacific time Friday. For some parts of the world, this could be Saturday as well. And the sun is going to move on, right? It is going to move on in conjunct Mercury. There it's happened. The sun has moved past Mercury, right? I moved up the chart by a day. So Saturday. And the Sun-Mercury conjunction can bring messages, right? It can bring insights, it can bring communication. And that's because the sun is our soul and consciousness, right? And Mercury is the messenger. So it can bring up things, it can bring up realizations, it can bring up insights, epiphanies, or communication from outside as well. But the main thing with the Sun-Mercury conjunction is usually a message, either externally or internally, or a realization. So that happens Saturday. And then towards the end of the week on Sunday, we have a few things going on. So let's see those things. And what's happening on Sunday is that Mercury retrograde, right, will change signs. It's been in Gemini up until Sunday, but now it's going to be in Taurus. And this is different, right? So the energy of Mercury retrograde will shift slightly. Now, Mercury retrograde in Gemini, yes, it will bring up review of the Mercury-related things, diet, health, lifestyle, job, our day-to-day routine, communication in general. But in Gemini, it'll bring up Gemini things as well, right? Gemini is the sign of communication. So up until now, up until Sunday, this whole week, the focus of Mercury retrograde has been Gemini, apart from the regular Mercury things. And Gemini is a Mercury-ruled energy. So a lot of focus on reviewing communication, on reviewing immediate environment. But now in Taurus, the focus will also shift slightly. While we will continue to review communication and our day-to-day routine and our lifestyle and our diet and all those Mercury-related things, We will also begin to review things associated with Taurus. Taurus is the sign of acquiring material wealth, how we acquire material wealth, of finding our security and stability, right, of skills. So all these things will come under review as well, and that starts on Sunday. And Mercury will be retrograde till June 3rd. So that's Sunday, and on the same day, we also have the last quarter square of the moon. Now, this is the last 90-degree angle that the sun and the moon make before the new moon, right? So the moon here would have been here, and it squared the sun 90 degrees. And what this does is that it begins a period of about a week or so up until the next new moon, right? Up until then, a period of 7 to 8 days, you can say, which is about release and letting go, right? It's about releasing energies. It's about letting go of things that don't serve you. So it's a very subconscious and subtle process, but that's the energy in the background for the next 7-8 days starting on Sunday. And on the same day, we also have Mars here. Mars here, sextile Pluto, 60-degree angle, positive. And Mars is action and Pluto is transformation. So what this can bring is action and energy to transform or end things and begin things, right? And we are still in the full moon lunar eclipse energy, and okay, before I say this, eclipse energy is something that stays with us for a long time, 6 months at least. So it's not like this eclipse energy is going to go away with the next new moon, but it is more highlighted and more powerful up until the next new moon. So we are still in that lunar eclipse energy, and that eclipse is about what? Transformation, release, endings, catharsis. And what could happen now on Sunday is that we begin to maybe take action on whatever we need to let go of, right? Because Mars here, the planet of action and energy, is aspecting the planet of transformation in a positive way. So I think that sums up the week in a nutshell. And I'll just go over the events one more time. On Monday, we have a full moon lunar eclipse. For most of the world, this is Monday Pacific time. This happened on Sunday. Then on Wednesday, we have the Mars Neptune conjunction, which can bring about a little bit of confusion in what to do, what action to take, or it can bring about a lot of energy if you are doing something creative and spiritual. On Thursday, we have the sun trining Pluto, which can bring about a transformation, an ending, a letting go of something connected to our identity or consciousness. And then towards the weekend, we have the sun changing signs. The sun will enter the sign of Gemini, a more lively, a more fun-loving, a more excited energy than the sun in Taurus. We also have the sun-Mercury conjunction on the weekend, which can bring about messages or realizations or insights. We also begin the last quarter square of the moon on Sunday, which starts a period of 7 to 8 days, which is about release and letting go. And then we also have Mercury retrograde re-entering the sign of Taurus, slightly shifting the focus from Gemini to Taurus, to our skills, how we acquire wealth, and our values. And on Sunday, we also have Mars sextiling Pluto, giving us that energy and drive to be able to transform and let go. We are still in the full moon lunar eclipse energy and will be up until the next new moon, right? So, and that energy is about catharsis, transformation, ending, and beginning. So that's the week in a nutshell. So now I will pull a few cards for this week's energy, and then we'll close it out. Relaxation. And I think this card is telling us to stay relaxed, right? Eclipse energy doesn't necessarily feel easy. It brings karma, it brings fated events, it brings a lot of energy that is about release and letting go, a lunar eclipse, right? So take it easy and relax. And there's a full moon in the background. So yeah, that's the first card. Let's go with the lesson card now. says denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. And I think this has a lot to do with the release that we need to do with the eclipse energy, right? Because fear, it says I acknowledge my fear. Fear is also something associated with the sign of Scorpio, right? Scorpio is about our fears as well. It's where we face our fears. It's where we face our dark to transform, right? So I think this is telling us to acknowledge our fear and replace it with awareness. So something about that transformation of transforming our fear, facing our fear and then letting it go. Because once we face that fear, it leaves us. So that's the lesson we need to learn this week. And I think I'll pull the last card for this week. Okay, let's use this. Yang. Yang is the masculine energy, right? It's about taking action. See, it's a ball of fire. And there's a lot of energy in Aries right now, right? Jupiter is in Aries, magnifying Aries. Chiron is there, Venus is there. And Aries is about what? It is ruled by Mars. Mars is the masculine energy, right? So I think something about taking action and making things happen, right? Yang. And I think I'll go with one last card and then we'll close it out. Okay, let me do that again. Release. I don't think we could have got a better card. We have a lunar eclipse this week. We are in that lunar eclipse energy. We start the last quarter square of the moon. Need I say more? Release. Let it go. So I think that sums it up, and I'll show you guys the cards once again. Take it easy, relax, right? Take it easy this week. At the same time, this lesson card is saying take it easy, but face that fear, right? Face it, acknowledge it, let it go. And Yang, take action, take action. It's not so much about being receptive and receiving, right? That's more Pisces. This card to me is more Aries. So take that action, take that step. Release. Lunar eclipses generally are about emotional release, and this is in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is endings, it's release, it's letting go, it's transformation. So let it go. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.